Today we are going to talk about problem solving with GoalSeek. The first step is to define the problem. If we define the problem properly, that is 50% of the solution. The next step is to break a complex problem into smaller, simpler problems. This will help to solve the problem step by step and efficiently. The real world problem that we would be looking into is comparing renting a house versus buying a house. Everyone will go through this dilemma. The main calculation behind it is the loan and the payment strategy. The payment installment is given by the formula as shown, where P is the principal amount borrowed, I is the annual interest rate of the bank, T is the number of years the loan is for, and N is the period of compounding. N can be 1 for yearly, 2 for half yearly, 4 for quarterly, and 12 for monthly. So let's get into the problem using Excel. Let us define the problem. The problem was defined as renting a house versus buying a house. I think that would be fairly straightforward. The next step is to break it down into small pieces. Let's look at the current situation on a yearly basis. So what is my gross income? I am assuming that it is 20 units. I am purposefully not keeping it in any currency as it can be applied to any situation. Then comes the tax rate on the gross. This is assumed to be 30%. That means the taxes on 20 will come to be 6. Then there are daily living expenses, which can be assumed to be 5. Then of course there will be rent. Since I am living in a rented house, this will also be assumed to be 5. So if all the expenses are subtracted from the gross, that will give me a disposable income which comes out to be 4. This disposable income without rent will come to be 9. Now that the current situation has been determined, we will investigate the loan aspect. The house cost is assumed to be 100 units. Now the banks are going to lend you money, but they are not stupid enough to lend you the entire amount. So a maximum of 80% can be expected. We will assume that 80% will be sanctioned. So the loan amount will be 80% of 100, which is 80. The rest will have to be paid by me, which is 20. Unfortunately, I do not have the amount with me currently, so I have to wait to accumulate that amount. Considering a disposable income of 4, it will take 5 years to earn 20. After I have accumulated 20, I can now take the loan. So for the loan, I will have a principal of 80. With that and my own 20, I have now bought the house. Going forwards, I am no longer paying any rent, and my disposable income has increased from 4 to 9. The yearly interest rate that the bank lends at is assumed to be 10. I will assume the loan tenure as 10 years. The period of compounding is taken as 1 for simplicity. With this data, now I can calculate the amount paid as well as the payback installments. As you can see, the payback installment is greater than the disposable income without rent. This will destroy my finances and lead me into bankruptcy. That must be avoided at all costs. In order to avoid that, I have to balance the budget. That is, the payback installment should be equal to the disposable income without rent. To do that, we must increase the loan tenure as all other things are fixed. So we will use GoalSeek for that purpose. We will go to Data, What If Analysis, and then GoalSeek. The set cell will be the error cell. The true value shall be 0, as the error will always be 0. The changing cell will be the number of years. Press OK and GoalSeek solves the problem. Again press OK to accept the result. So I have to take the loan for 23 years to ensure no bankruptcy. Now that we know the situation with the loan and buying a house as well as the renting, we have to evaluate both situations. So we will do an evaluation after the loan tenure is over. This is at 28 years because we spent 5 years accumulating the amount required from our side. So the rent cost is 140 while the loan cost is 152. Let us also compare the net worth. In the case of rent, looks like it is 112 money that I would have accumulated, while for buying a house, it is just the value of the house. It looks like I made a mistake and got screwed by the bank. Let's check at 40 years what is the situation. If I was still living in a rented house, my net worth would be 160. However, since I am no longer paying rent after buying a house, I have been earning a higher disposable income for the last 12 years. Therefore, my net worth now is greater than if I had rented. Can I evaluate more options? Yes, but unfortunately, the problem has been defined with the objective of showing the setup. A totally utilitarian setup would be in a single row, which could then be extended to other rows. And the macros that were demonstrated in the previous videos could also be used. So here I have to do things manually. So we will evaluate for different amounts of loan what is the net worth after 40 years. So we will go with 80 first. Next, 70. Then 60. After that, 50. Then 40. Thirty. 20. And finally 10. In all cases, I am making sure that bankruptcy is avoided using the goal seek macro, as you can see. So now we can plot the same, and then we can see that there is an optimum, and the best optimum looks to be as 50%. So this way you can use goal seek to check real world problems that can affect you directly.